Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Mystery Box Function Challenge. And today, our challenge is a special challenge. It's a challenging challenge. And I think I'm going to do this on Fridays from here on out to choose especially hard ones for our Friday mystery boxes. In this purple box, there's some math, some challenging math today. And your job is to determine what that math is. You can find a link in the description. Pause the video, click that link, and then you can put in as many numbers as you want and see how they're transformed by this mystery math. And we'll keep track of what you put in and what you get out, and we'll plot those as ordered pairs. And you can use that information to guess or to understand what that mystery math is. So try out as many numbers as you like. Pause the video, then come on back, listen to the rest, and see if you get what I get. I don't know. Today is super hard, so if you don't quite get this one, that's okay. If you get a guess, have a guess that's close, that's good enough. All right, well, let's give it a try. So I'm going to put in a 0 first. 0 gives me a 1. Let's try a 1. And 1 gives me a 0. Well, I'm not going to suggest that this is the line negative x plus 1, because that's too simple, and this is a challenging one, right? So let's put in 2 and see what else might be going on. Oh, now that's odd. Okay, so we were going down, but now we seem to be going up. If I put in a 3, are we going to go down again, or are we going to continue to go up? Continuing to go up, and this looks like a nice gentle curve, so maybe part of a parabola or part of a cubic, but what is that point about? Well, let's try the points on the other side of the y-axis to see if we have symmetry going on here around the y-axis. So I'll put in a negative 1. Do I get a 0? I do. Okay. And if I put in a negative 2, maybe I'll get a 3. And a negative 3 should give me an 8 then. Wow, that is strange looking. It looks like a big W. So what kind of a function could make this? I mean, the biggest clue I have is that these curves, these two arms, if I wasn't looking at this point in the middle, I would say, yeah, this is a parabola, and I'd expect the vertex to be down here. So somehow the vertex got reflected across the x-axis, which is kind of weird. I guess my question is this part here between 0 and 1 and negative 1 and 0, is that a curve as well, or is it a straight line? So I'm going to put in 1/2. I'm going to put in negative 1/2 as well. So that does look like a curve. In fact, if I looked at just this part, I would say this is a downward facing parabola. And if I look at just this part, the two arms, I'd say this is an upward facing parabola. So I'm going to be pretty confident in saying x squared is part of this, but what would do that? What would flip part of it upside down? And the part that's flipped upside down is 1 high. It goes from 0 to 1, and when you'd expect it to go from 0 to negative 1. So I think this might have to do with an absolute value equation. So I'm thinking maybe let's try this, absolute value of x squared minus 1. So if I put in a 0, I'm going to get a 1. If I put in a 1, 1 squared is 1 minus 1 is 0. So those two check out. What if I put in a 2? So 2 squared would be 4, and then minus 1 would be 3. Okay, this is working out. How about a negative 1? So negative 1 squared is 1, minus 1 is 0. Yep. How about a negative 2? Negative 2 squared is 4. Minus 1 is 3, so that works. So this does seem to be working with all these. What about 1/2 and negative 1/2? What we're getting for that? Because that's the area that I think is the most interesting. So if I put in 1/2 and I square it, now if I put in negative 1/2, I'm going to get the same thing, right? Because the squaring is going to make this positive. And so 1/2 squared is 1/4 minus 1 would be negative 3/4. And then I take the absolute value of it and I get 3/4. And that's exactly what we're getting. So I think I got it here. So the absolute value of x squared minus 1. Wow, that definitely was a toughie. Let's see if we're right on this one. Yep, the absolute value of x squared minus 1. And let's graph that. It's such an interesting looking shape. Yeah, so you get these kind of like W or bat wing shape. Pretty interesting. So you may want to try this out on a graphing calculator. Put in different numbers here in what we're subtracting. Try adding some. Does that make a difference? And this is a really interesting shape you get with a relatively simple equation. Well, how did that go for you? Was this an absolute stumper? Did you have the inkling that x squared, it had to do with x squared? If you did, give yourself a pat on the back. You recognize something essential about the graph. If you didn't quite get this equation, not a big deal. Better luck next time. All right. Thank you, everybody.